Final saga, the covenant promise. Flesh versus faith. Zola returned, not out of fear or weakness, but with the strength of knowing her child's future was not a mistake. She would raise a son who would stand strong, even if everyone doesn't welcome him. Months later, Medidi Elijah Van Scott was born. Mikhail held the boy with trembling hands torn between joy and dread. Cassandra Grace looked on, a storm brewing behind her smile. Years later, when Cassandra Grace finally bore her own child, an impossible miracle at her age, once again tension in their household grew. Medidi Elijah and his brother Joseph Josiah would fight over the simplest task. As an older child, Medidi would force his younger brother to do his assigned chores and mocked him behind his mother's back. Whispers of inheritance, identity, and belonging lingered in every hallway. One evening, Cassandra Grace overheard Medidi telling her son how he will be the next CEO running their father's business. That night overwhelmed and frustrated Cassandra. Grace demanded Mikhail to send Zola and her son away. "That boy will not inherit what my son is entitled to. Send them packing or else." Mikhail's heart was torn, because Medidi was also his flesh and blood, but he couldn't afford to go against Cassandra Grace's wishes. When Mikhail told Zola she has to leave, Zola cried all day. Then suddenly she remembered that night on the streets of Toronto. Sitting alone in that bus shelter, she realized she was seen, not as a servant, not as a substitute, but as a mother chosen by God to carry a story bigger than anyone around her could understand. Genesis 21, Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. Abraham's son with Hagar was Ishmael, who was not the child of promise. The true child of promise was Isaac, the son born to Abraham and his wife Sarah through a miraculous event, fulfilling God's covenant through faith and supernatural means, not human effort. Ishmael was a result of Abraham and Sarah's impatience and attempt to fulfill the promise through human will, rather than God's power. Sometimes people's choices wound us, but God's vision finds us. He sees those the world overlooks, and in his sight no life is wasted. Men may divide, but God provides. Sarah chose Isaac, but God remembered Ishmael. Abraham's house had room for one son, but God's heart had room for both. Thanks for watching. I hope you were blessed by this story. Stay tuned for more Church Gistan Wahala.